Hello, magandang araw, mga kaproblematics. Pag-aaralan po natin ngayon ang tungkol sa geometry. Ang geometry ay isang klaseng mathematical subjects na napaka-exciting. But really, our focus is on the properties of a quadrilateral. So, pag sinabi daw po natin quadrilaterals, it is a figure with four sides. It doesn't matter if the sides are equal or not. What is important is that that figure has four sides. And if it would happen, that is a quadrilateral. So, kung babalikan ko, according to the definitions, any figure with four sides is a quadrilateral. An example of a quadrilateral is a rhombus, a trapezoid, a rectangle, a square, and a parallelogram. Those are an examples of a quadrilaterals. But of course, our focus for today is that to find for the properties of these quadrilaterals. Let us try to find out and figure out what would happen. Anyway, I have here the family tree of the quadrilaterals. The first quadrilateral that I have is the rectangle. Of course, we have the rhombus, I have the parallelogram, and I have the squares. And for my right side of my family tree, I have the trapezoid. Below the trapezoid, I have the general trapezoid or my trapezium. Ang trapezoid pala natin ay meron dalawang klase. We have the isosceles trapezoid and we have the general trapezoid. Pag sinabi po natin isosceles trapezoid, the opposite sides of the trapezoids must be equal. And the base angles of the trapezoids must be equal. We will talk about for that later on. So at this time, we're going to have our focus on the left sides of the kinds of quadrilaterals, which is the rectangle, the rhombus, the parallelogram, and the squares. Okay, let's start. I have first my quadrilateral in the name of the rectangle. Can I say this, that a rectangle can be a rhombus? Or should I say, a rectangle is a rhombus? Is it right or not? Well, we will find out later on. And it can also be like this. A rectangle is a parallelogram. Is it right or not? Again, we will find out later on. How about if I say that a rectangle is a square? Is it right or not? Okay, let us try to find out kung itong mga sinasabi kong mga tanong ay pwede po bang mangyari. Is it possible or not? Is it possible or not? Okay. The possibility of getting the right answer that I have been asking before is that, is it 50-50? 90, 10, or 100% right or 100% wrong? So, before we finalize our answer, let us first find out or the properties of our quadrilaterals rather. Let us talk about the rectangle. Ang rectangle po ay meron pong tinatawag na two parallel lines. And those lines ay ito po yun. Yeah, this line and the other line na nasa baba, if we extend this line infinitely in both direction, we know that the line does not intersect at all times. Ibig sabihin nun, pag in-extend natin yung lines ng dalawang sides ng isang rectangle sa kabila, papunta sa kanan at papunta sa kaliwa, ang taas at sa kababa, ay hinding-hindi po sila magsasalubong. Pag ganun ang nangyayari, ang tawag po natin dyan, parallel lines. Remember that the definition of a parallel lines are lines that do not intersect at all times infinitely. So, another one. If I have this line and another line that can be extended in both direction infinitely, I have another parallel lines, one pair of parallel lines na nakita natin dito sa rectangle. At the same time, nandito rin po yun sa parallelogram. How about if dito tayo maglalagay? If I have this line, another line, and we extend this line or sides of this rhombus infinitely in what directions? So, it does not intersect at all times. Kung mapapansin po natin, how about if I have this? I have this line, I have this another line, then I have another line. If I am to extend this, in what directions infinitely? Sigurado po ako na hindi rin po sila magsasalubong. In short, yung una, the rectangle, ay meron siyang one pair of parallel lines. The parallelogram has also one pair of parallel lines. Squares has also one pair of parallel lines as well as the rhombus na kung saan pari-parihas sila ng properties. So in that case, pwede po natin masabi na ang isang rectangle can be a parallelogram. Or should I say that a rectangle is a parallelogram? Why? Because one of the properties of the rectangle can be found within the properties of a parallelogram, of a square, and of a rhombus. So, sa makatuwid, pwede po natin sila pagpalit-palitin. Tingnan natin. How about if we have the lines opposite to each other, the right side and the left side? Let us try. If I have this line, extend upward and downward, and the partner of this line, the opposite side of this line, of the sides, if we extend the sides infinitely in both direction, so we know that those lines will not meet each other. And therefore, itong dalawang line na to can also be called as parallel lines. At the same time, if we have to extend this line and this line, hindi rin po sila magsasalubong kahit kilan. So, dito tayo, ganun pa rin ang mangyayari. This is another pair of lines. Then the other one, kabila. And at the same time, dito rin po sa kabila. So, kabilaan lamang po yung lines natin. Kung mapapansin natin, it doesn't intersect to each other. And thus, the second pair of our parallel lines. So, sa makatuwid, isa sa characteristic ng atin pong four quadrilaterals na interconnected to each other ay lahat silang apat meron pong tinatawag na two pairs of parallel lines. Nasaan yung pairs na yun? Ito at saka ito one pair. Ito naman at saka ito one pair. Ibig sabihin nun, ang isang rectangle ay merong two pairs of parallel lines. Likewise, in parallelogram, we have one pair and the other one is for two pairs. Square, meron tayong one pair. Then the other one, rhombus, one pair. Likewise, upward and downward is one pair. So sa makatuwid, dahil meron silang tinatawag na common properties ng kanilang isa't isa, pwede na po natin masabi na yung tanong ko kanina. Can I say that a rectangle is a parallelogram? Absolutely, my answer is yes. So I am confident 100% that a rectangle is a parallelogram. Why? Pwede ko pong masabi na a rectangle is a parallelogram according to the sides. Again, a rectangle is a parallelogram according to the sides or the properties of the sides of that parallel or quadrilaterals. Why? Because these two figures ay meron po silang tinatawag na two pairs of parallel lines. And at the same time, ay pwede ko rin sabihin na a rectangle can be a rhombus. Or should I say that a rectangle is a rhombus? Yes, again, 100%. Why? A rectangle is a rhombus in terms of their sides. So, pwede po natin sabihin sa bahay na a father, my mother, o kapatid, o kaya my brother, natitiyak ako na ang rectangle ay isang square. Ang square is also a rhombus, and the rhombus is also a parallelogram. Of course, your brother, pagtatanong, paano? My brother, ang iyong magiging kasagutan lang ay ganito. A rectangle is a parallelogram. A parallelogram is a square, and a square is a rhombus, and at the same time, a rhombus is a rectangle according to their sides because all of them have two pairs of parallel sides. So, ganun po kadali mag-identify. That is only one property of the parallelogram. O, di po ba malinaw? So, ang kasunod po nating topic na ating susundin ay ang next common properties ng parallelograms na to. Bye-bye! Have a nice day!